If impact had a face, what would it look like? At AUC's School of Business, we don't predict the future of business education. We shape it through empowered generations. Our journey of ongoing transformation and legacy of academic excellence stretches the boundaries for a better tomorrow, where impact is limitless. For 75 years, we have been going the extra mile to transform vision into reality, reimagining our programs, partnering with the business community, empowering our learners with the knowledge, agility, and adaptability needed to maximize their potential, to step into the global market as impactful leaders, ready to reimagine the future of business. Far beyond our community, country, and region. AUC School of Business, transforming minds, limitless impact.
Okay, we hope you enjoyed that. It really is as fun as it looks. And later you'll be having a tour of the campus, so you'll see how beautiful the campus is. I hope everyone slept well and you had fun last night. We had some amazing dancers. I was actually saying to my dad this morning, saying, Dad, you know what? The foreigners were all dancing yesterday. And he said, what, better than Egyptians? I was like, yep, Dad, I'm sorry to say. We have some amazing belly dancers here. You know, you put us to shame. So yesterday was an amazing evening, and we hope that today and tomorrow and the day after follows. So thank you all for coming today. We're just going to start with some opening remarks by Dean Sherif KAMEL.
Thank you, Nellie. And good morning, everybody. I hope you had a good night's sleep. We have a long day today. Let me just start by going back to something that Nellie said last night, which is you're staying here for a few days, you need to start practicing or learning a few words in Arabic. So I know we have English, I cannot speak all the languages, but I know we have many English speaking, some French speaking, and a few Arabic speaking. So the very first word that you need to learn, obviously, you know, welcome, bienvenue, and ahlan wa sahlan. So ahlan wa sahlan is welcome in Arabic. So this is your first two words that you need to keep in mind. So welcome to AUC School of Business. As the video said, we've been around for 75 years. We're celebrating 75 years this year. The university itself, by the way, you've seen a glimpse of the downtown campus. I hope you have the opportunities to see it. It was established back in 1919. And we stayed there until 2008 when we moved to this campus. As you can tell, we were in the heart of downtown. Now, when we moved here in 2008, I promise you, if you were keeping attention while on the bus to the ring road, there was nothing between the ring road and here. So literally, you get out of the ring road and you keep on driving until you reach AUC. So this whole area was developed from 2008 until now. And as you can see, it's still being developed. Few welcomes. Besides all the delegates, I would like to welcome the Eduniversal team, Martial and his entire team. I also would like to welcome the International Scientific Committee members. Most of them are here. We're missing three, Mike Wood, Edson Riccio, and I wish all the very best to Virginius Kundrotas. I hope he will be joining us in the near future. I can't stop saying, extremely delighted to see you all in person. As many of you know, the last time we were hosted by Ian. Ian, where are you, Ian? I can see you. Here you are. Ian, and at Sasson School of Management. We had a fantastic conference there in Bangkok in 2019. But the last two rounds were virtual. Well, virtual was nice, and I have to commend the Eduniversal team. They made the experience even more fun, except that just simply the Zoom with that virtual reality platform. But honestly, it was nice, it was different, but I think all of us, we've had enough of that. So I'm very happy that we meet again in person this year. I have to go back in time in 2008 when we moved to this campus. One day, the dean at the time, name was Dennis O'Connor, called me up and he goes, do you know Eduniversal? And I said, nope. And he goes, it's a French-based ranking system. And I'm going to go and see how the story is. He actually attended the first inaugural meeting in 2008 in Paris. And when he came back, we both talked about it and we said, one day we might host the event in Cairo. That was back in 2008. Well, Eduniversal went to Africa in 2009, but that was in South Africa. So I'm glad that 13 years later, with the rotation of the conference moving across different continents, we're hosting it in our own campus here at AUC. So this year's theme, bringing business and society together, business and business schools together, the next generation of business schools. We have a lineup of panel discussions, keynote speeches that address the challenges that we face as business schools, deans, faculty, administrators. We can't stop facing challenges. Everybody's focusing only on the pandemic and what happened over the last 2 years, but there are also conflicts around the world, economic crises, inflation. The list is long, and we don't want to go there. But I think with every challenge, there is also an opportunity to become more innovative and try to adapt to remain relevant and timely. So the title, The Next Generation of Business School, do we know how it looks like? Do you have an idea? Can we project? Can we even imagine how the business school curriculum will look like in 5 years? We know it's different. We know it's going to be affected by innovation, leadership, sustainability, maybe more engagement with different stakeholders in society, disruption for sure. But also the integration of the elements of SDGs and ESGs and the like is becoming extremely important, and every single school, including mine, are actually being challenged how to really integrate them into the curriculum. Not just cosmetics by inviting a guest speaker or a project and the like, but how to do that to create and produce the knowledge we need, but also to shape the future leaders of tomorrow. We all talk about the future of learning. The future of work. But the future of work will require a different type of learning, and that relates to the future of learning. Again, how it will look like. We talk about experiential learning, now we talk about micro-credentials and the like. All that is good, but how it can be integrated seamlessly within a business school context and yet deliver the message and make the impact that we all opt to do. This year, just in a week's time, Egypt is, and I'm going to share with you just one initiative that we're involved with. Egypt is hosting COP27 from the 6th to the 18th of November. Well, we as a school, we took an initiative with a couple of business schools in Africa to set up a consortium mimicking something that happened in Europe along COP26, which is Business School for Climate Leadership. And we're convening for the first time on November 7th here on campus with a number of business schools from Europe, Africa, but also representatives from Prime and UN Global Compact. This is a small group that we're starting off the process with. In the future, once we sort of structure it and frame it the way we want and set the specific targets for the respective business schools, we're going to extend the invitations to others to join, because Business School for Climate Leadership Africa does not necessarily mean that the involved parties should all be from Africa, but it's a collective effort that we're all part of. Just a few more remarks I want to highlight, and it's mainly about the school. It's very important that every single school would define why it's there, to define its purpose. And the purpose, it's not one size fits all. It always relates to the context where you are. So years ago, we've defined 3 main themes for the school, and I mean years ago, 12 years ago. 3 main themes for the school. And if you look at our programs and centers, they all revolve around these three. The first is entrepreneurship and innovation in a country where more than 90% of the economy is based on SMEs. The second is economic development. Egypt is an emerging economy facing the typical problems of emerging economy that were exacerbated based on the developments that happened in the world over the last few years. And third, responsible business. So we're looking for entrepreneurs, people who understand the dynamics of the economy, but also people who are responsible, who are principled to make a difference in society and become agents of change. My final remark relates to the future. Where do we go from here? It's not about adding programs or centers, but it's more aligning what we have and sometimes even suspending some of our operations to remain relevant, timely, and impactful. And to do that on a scalable and sustainable pace, given all the economic challenges, you need to focus more on the message that the school always pushes for. And our message is producing knowledge and shaping leaders. With that, I wish you a wonderful conference, an enjoyable stay in Cairo. Try to do other stuff than outside the conference schedule than attending the conference sessions, and I'll see you around. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean KAMEL. I just want to briefly share a quick thought with you. I teach business ethics. I've taught so many different courses. I've been thrown into some of them. And a couple of weeks ago, one of my students was having a bit of an existential crisis. And we were talking about discrimination and sexual harassment and fraud. And I said to them, when I went to university in the UK, more than maybe 12, 13 years ago, and I was a demonstrator and an activist against racial discrimination, and I got into trouble for it a lot. And they said to me, well, we talk about these things now. And I said, well, we didn't talk about those things that many years ago. So one of my students said to me, I don't know what my purpose is in life. And I thought that was quite ironic, her asking that in a course that's in a school of business. So I said, what do you want to do with your life? Why are you alive? And she said, well, I think I'll graduate and I'll work for a corporate, you know, maybe become a corporate slave. I said, well, you don't sound too happy saying that. I said, what do you really want to do? And she said, I want to make impact in the world and change and do something crazy like you do in your free time. I said, well, we'll do that. And she said, but I'm a business school student. I said, well, that's every reason to do that. So I think just following up from Dean KAMEL's talk, I think that's really important for us to really push our students to be game changers, to think against, and shift against the tide. And that sort of moves us into our theme for today on leadership or on innovation and leadership with our keynote speaker on rethinking the future of business and management education and how can business schools adapt to remain relevant from a global perspective. So what's next for innovation? And I'd like to welcome Professor Sung-Ju Park. He's the former Dean and the Vice President of Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology and Eduniversal International Scientific Committee member for Far East Asia. Thank you so much for being with us. And this will follow with a Q&A. Welcome.
This one to turn the slides.
Okay. Sherif? Where's Sherif? Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. I feel like being in 6-star hotel. Huh? Well, good morning. Did you enjoy pyramids yesterday? Yeah, mostly. That means you have done your job in Egypt, right? But you need to learn anyway. Uh, Frankly speaking, I'm a substitute speaker because we planned in different format originally, but we couldn't make it. So I was called to substitute. This morning, I would like to share my thoughts on innovation of business education. Okay. Why we need the innovations now? There are several reasons. Most important, as Sherif mentioned, and all of us know, is unprecedented phenomenal changes in technology, business, and society. The first industrial revolution, climate changes, demographic changes, environmental changes, geopolitical strife, and future of work. Can business schools foster the business leaders in the future? Are we prepared and ready? That's a big question. And there are growing gaps between reality and business education. Because we saw stagnation of education for millions of years. All teacher-centered, passive education. What is education then? Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of minds to think. That's by Albert Einstein that I like. What will be the future of work and AI? Will AI and robots replace human workers and making them obsolete? That's many people worried. There are three kinds of AI, in fact, not many people talk about. Three levels in a sense. One is specialized AI, or artificial narrow intelligence. The second level is general AI. That's artificial general intelligence. Third level is super AI, artificial super intelligence. ANI means machine learning, computer vision, natural language processing. It's all task-oriented that we all are familiar with. So there's IBM's Watson, Google's AlphaGo. People say it beat Sedol Lee, the global champion, Korean global champion Go player. But I would like to point out that AlphaGo lost one time to Sedol Lee and won 3 times. That one time is important, I think. And people say driverless driving. And we all know this, what's going on here. The key problem with AI is causality problem. We know how, but not why. There's something related principle called Bonferroni principle, and not acceptable in critical situations. There may be AI war. For general AI, it's like artificial human-like brain, ability to do complex work tasks that require cognitive interaction with the world. But it's hype. If possible, very far in the future. Next level is artificial superintelligence. That's just fantasy, science fiction, that many people just keep saying. So we need humans to do real complex works for quite a long time. That's part of MIT report that I consider as important, because the authors are the global expert in AI and robotics. Is it possible teacherless teaching? No. It's a hallelujah for us, right? The future will be a deepened hybrid world. We are now a hybrid world. It will be deepened. Convergence of two worlds, physical world with atom and virtual world with bit. It is impossible to fuse the two worlds. So we need to delineate clearly the boundary between the two worlds. What things can robots, AI do better? And what can only human do? Human can do creative thinking or dumb thinking, right? Because I see many dumb thinkings these days around the world. So how to harmonize this? There is increasing virtualization, but how to harmonize? In fact, human is very harmonized being of physical body and virtual soul. Perfect harmonization, perfect embodiment. Without body, you cannot work. Without soul, what can you do? You cannot think and talk, right? It's an eternal issue of philosophy. So challenges of business education in the hybrid world. Educating and training new knowledges and skills. Key for fourth industrial revolution is, in fact, digitalization, AI, and robotics. But we need deepening understanding of human knowledge and skills. The mode of teaching will be hybrid and blended online, offline. So you need to teach new technologies, but emphasize human side. What only human can do. So how to teach human side? You should change from teaching to learning, from teacher-centered to student-centered, and foster creative thinking. How about the effectiveness of business education? How to make it more effective in the hybrid world? Business school and school is a system. It has input and output, right? Inputs can be quality of students, low quality, high quality, and output can be low graduate or high graduate. Which one is the best school? A, right? You don't agree. Okay, let's see. B, most of globally eminent schools, global top 10, top 50, but are these the most effective schools? That's a question, right? How about C? It's quite poor schools, but many schools are in C. Normal and average schools. Online schools with public open recruitment. You don't select by quality or whatever. It's just you can pay and being student. How about the D? Excellent student, poor output. I see many national university schools in many countries. They don't have motivation to innovate. And students have no choice, geopolitical or geo-economic reasons, right? A is the best, but very rare. How to make your school effective? As you can see, the majority of schools are about here, right? Where's your school? So how to make a school more effective in the hybrid world? I think the key is pedagogy innovation, how to teach. From teaching to learning, flipped learning, switch teacher and students, experiential learning, learning by doing, team-based learning, collaboration, active learning, creative thinking. The focus will be how to foster creative thinking. And you need innovations as well. Teacher innovations, training teachers, and facility innovations, team-based classrooms. The first you see is Harvard Business School, right? And many other schools in the world. It is very efficient teaching classroom. But kindergarten is very effective. Can you understand? Let me illustrate some examples. One is St. John's College in the United States. They do distinctive liberal arts education, great books education, reading and discussion. They read great thinkers' work, ancient like Homer, Plato, to contemporary and diverse subjects, liberal arts, Eastern, even Eastern classics, and have tutors who are the facilitators and student-directed class and discussion. 15 students team. And they do active learning, collaborative inquiry, something similar to Jewish Havruta. Second example, is Minerva School. It's very experimental venture. They have no campus, no lectures, no exams. Online video classes, but with surveillance data for evaluation. They do active learning in 7 global cities: San Francisco, London, Seoul. I think it's Nomad University. They go around, but I don't know what they learn. Well, spend a couple of months in Seoul doesn't mean that they learn Korean culture, Korean business. So what? Global, they say they force the global citizen. But it's very US-centric curriculum. So these are some questions. Okay, final words. How to remain relevant? That's first question we had. Educate both worlds, virtual and physical. Teach AI, robots, machines in an efficient way in large classrooms, leverage MOOCs, online, Zoom. But focus on human side learning in effective way. You need human touch. So pedagogy innovation is the key in the future. Blended, hybrid, and flipped, experiential, team-based, and active learning. My last question is innovation of teachers. How to do this? Are we professors ready? So how to train and teach teachers? We need to do ourselves, but I think it is the new role of global institutes like AACSB, EFMD, where I was quite involved as well, or at Universal. I hope you enjoy. Are there any questions? I will. I can sit. I can stand. I prefer stand. Just 3 questions. I don't have much time. I shall choose. Okay. You are the manager. You are the boss.
Hello.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the nice presentation. I enjoyed it. I've got a small question regarding your presentation, which is nice. You focused much on the teacher side, which is good. What are your thoughts about the student side, especially that in future there will be there's a growing age difference between the professors and the students that are coming into the university. So I want you to think about the other side of the coin in terms of the students.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. I do myself the active learning. And I retired 7 years ago from KAIST, but I taught till 2 years ago. And my last lecture is titled Asian Innovations. But I had 15 students, all from different countries. Really global class. And I do active learning. Students love it very much. They want to be centered. Yeah. That's my own experience. They like it. Okay. Other questions? Other question? Okay.
Thanks. How do you ensure that those who know how to use artificial intelligence and those technologies, that they don't take advantage of them? Because as you mentioned, the future is a deepening between the human and the machine. So how do you ensure that those who understand how these things work don't take advantage of them?
Don't take advantage of what?
Don't take advantage of the technologies to better themselves. How do they pass on the knowledge?
Well, you should, we should take advantage of technology, new technologies. But we don't develop ourselves. Business schools use more effective way. You don't need to develop AI machine or whatever. Okay? But you need to learn new knowledge in new technology so that you can utilize, leverage those.
Thank you.
Okay. Shukran. Is it what? Right? Shukran. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Just one more question. Thank you, Professor Sung. I was just thinking as we were talking about this, oh dear, I've seen somebody raise their eyebrows. She was thinking, oh no. Often in business schools, and I think in education, in general, we always talk about what we should do, but we often kind of don't think about how we do these things. My mother was a grade 1 teacher. She was a teacher in my school growing up. It wasn't great. She would always tell the teachers, if she's misbehaved, deal with her how you like. I won't tell you what they did. And I grew up in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, in a private girls' school with Islamic education, and I was very misbehaved. And it lacked any innovation and creativity, so I would jump out of the window, sit at the back, and run around the school and play and come back. And I always thought growing up, why aren't we playing at school? Like, why can't we play in the classroom? Why is there no creativity? Why does everything have to be so dry? And then I went to England when I was 16 and stayed there for a while, and then when I came here, and I'm really not just saying this, I was so happy that they let me do what I want in class. Like, nobody comes and watches me much, So I decided a few years ago to put on a play for my students. So, Professor Sung mentioned play theory. So why don't we get students to dramatize? Why don't we get them to sing or produce podcasts? Or, my colleagues in economics take their students to impoverished areas. They get them actually sitting down doing work that people from, underdeveloped communities do. Like, why not? We have a place here called Garbage City where basically it is, as it says, called Garbage City, and they have pigs that eat a lot of the dirt, and a lot of the rubbish. And my students sometimes are like, oh, what's this? I'm like, oh, I think it's great, let's go and try and pet a pig. So why don't we do these things? And I think that this is what a lot of the talk was, focusing on, and something that we should all think a little bit more about. We're going to get ready for a campus tour in a moment. Please pet the cats. I just want to give you some fun facts and figures. So when I came here to the campus, I got lost a lot. It's my 8th year and I still get lost. So believe it or not, we actually have 1.6 kilometers of underground service tunnel here, where we actually have electric cars that go underneath. It sounds very MI5-like, doesn't it? Somebody told me this when I first came, and I didn't believe it, so I followed one of the carts, and I went into one of these service tunnels. We also have a lot of sustainability here. So actually, other than the pyramids, this is a fact that I've read, other than the pyramids, no other construction has used this many variation of different types of stones and granite and sand actually to build. We also use 100% treated wasted water. And would you believe it, we have 7,000 different indigenous trees grown here. We have smart classrooms, et cetera, et cetera. I'm showing off a little bit now. But we also have 150 different types of trees and flowers. You'll see all of this. So I think it's pretty amazing. And actually, when you walk through campus, you might feel gushes of wind now and then. It's not part of a movie set, but what actually it's done is the buildings are designed as tunnels so that when you actually walk through them, the wind kind of comes through, and we have an irrigation system, we have fountains, we have lots of stuff. Don't fall into a fountain, I've done it once. So we're going to get ready for a campus tour now. I hope you enjoy it. And we will be back here at 11:30 prompt, please. Perhaps maybe 11:25. We also, if you'd like to look up in the skies when you come on campus, we have over, as to my knowledge, 18 or 20 different types of bird species, and I only know that because I'm a bird watcher, and this is true, actually. I went through campus with some binoculars, and security came and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Really, I'm half English, but I'm not a spy." And we have lots of migrating birds, so my African colleagues, my European colleagues, we now have some lovely birds migrating from Europe, and they will be heading back to Africa and back through. So, don't know if everyone knows, but Egypt is a pit stop for a lot of birds. So have a look. If you hear a very shrilly bird as well, that's our bee eater. Okay, so just a couple of points. Wi-Fi. Anybody that wants Wi-Fi, everyone's, yes, internet, messages. Please go on to if you go into your Wi-Fi connection on settings, and then you sign in as guest, and then it will ask you to create an account, okay? We won't track you, don't worry. So if you need any more details, please ask myself, ask Sally, ask any of our colleagues here. Also, when you come back during the keynotes, if we can have our phones on silent, if possible, please, okay? Okay, everyone, enjoy the campus tour, and I will see you back here at about 11:25, please.